Boom. Welcome. So, today we're not in the studio. We're actually at the house. It's a snow day outside, very bright that way by the window. I think we got like 6 inches of snow. So, we're going to make today's video here. It was my dad's birthday, Friday. He turned 51. And I always feel like I don't know what to get him. So, this year, I think I nailed it. I think I got it right. Normally, you want to get your dad like a best dad in the World Cup or something like that, but I feel like everybody's dad gets that. A little bit context about my dad. He's 51 now. He's overweight. He's a very big personality. Yeah, he's very funny. He's very funny. Extremely smart. He can fix anything. So he used to work on automobiles. Now he works on giant cranes, tractors. So if I had to sum him up, he's a mechanic, construction worker, so he wears a uniform. He has a yellow jacket and a white hard hat. Also loves Dunkin' Donuts more than anybody. I gained like 10 pounds on a trip to Florida just from Dunkin' Donuts. So he loves it more than that. But when I used to live in Florida, there were 3 Dunkin' Donuts in West Palm Beach that we would go to. And I think he'd get 3 cups of coffee a day. Morning, brunch, and then lunch or like 2 o'clock. They knew him. When he pulled into the drive-thru, they knew who he was, and they would just automatically go, large 5 and 5, and he'd just pull through. And sometimes they'd just give it to him for free. And he's old, so old people like old video games. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. He plays his Tetris game on his phone. It's all pixelated and everything. So I figured, what's a better game than like OG Mario? All right, so here's what I did. I took the old Mario character, and I made a model in Illustrator, and I changed his outfit to represent my dad with his yellow jacket, blue jeans, and his white hard hat, and also gave Mario a little bit of a lower beard because my dad wears a goatee. I found a couple different positions of Mario, like jumping and whatnot, and I kind of just tried to make my own version of my dad in that way. Then I took this background that had the original Mario, and I covered the Mario up with that blue square right there and fixed up where his feet were on the tile. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. By the way, this isn't a tutorial. This definitely isn't a tutorial. I think I've never looked this up, never researched this. I know what like frame by frame is, so I figured I could figure it out. I just had an idea and I did it. It took me like 5-6 hours. I think I did this the silliest way possible, the slowest way possible. I think there's a lot better ways to do it. I think if I would have just taken the assets that I made in Illustrator, such as the Mario and the background and the car, and took it into Premiere, I think I probably could have just keyframed everything and it would have looked alright, and it would have been a lot faster. So don't take this as a tutorial. This is not a tutorial. This is me being dumb, making something cool in a long period of time, and wanting to show everybody. So let's see what I made next. So then I gave him a hammer because he's a mechanic, and I made a Dunkin' Donuts cup that was pixelated, and it's huge because he always got a large. So he'd always get a large 5 and 5, but I made it look like a Dunkin' Donuts cup. And then I started to make a couple more positions for like the walking features. I had a hard time doing this because I didn't have a whole lot of references because I was stupid, didn't want to look them up. I gave him a little walk cycle, and that's what we're gonna have to do. We have all the assets now to make him walk, right? And I also made this car with a little bit of a smoke animation, and I didn't time this very well, but it works. You'll see in the finished product at the end. Once I set up all the assets, I would just hover over the selection and export that as a JPEG at this ratio, and then I would take that into Premiere, and we'd set each thing to 1 frame, each still image to 1 frame. So I found my dad's ratio of his screen for his phone, and basically just made a rectangle over that JPEG background image and made a clipping mask out of it. And then for this, I just made a copy of this clipping mask and then made another clipping mask only over this question mark square. Basically just threw it back on there like a stamp over it, and then underneath the copy I made a blue rectangle that was the same color as the background sky, so it looks like it jumps up and down when it really isn't. And then of course as he hits the special block, instead of a mushroom coming up, for Mario, a Dunkin' Donuts large hot coffee, 5 sugars and 5 creams, comes up and slides off. So this actually didn't take as long as I thought. I thought it was going to take longer, but the whole process, I made the assets in an hour and a half or so, and then I did this whole like frame process where in like 4 hours, 3.5 hours. So it really wasn't that long of a time. So basically, I gave it to Dad, and I put it at his home screen for his phone or his lock screen, because you can have like up to a 15-second animation on your lock screen, and so whenever he turns on his phone, it looks like that. And he loves it. It was weird. He was somebody who would always keep his phone screen on for. He's so old. He just leaves his phone screen on, and he just leaves it. I guess batteries on phones are getting like ridiculous, but he just leaves his phone screen on, and he'll leave it on the counter for like 15 extra minutes without touching it. And it's not like he's looking at it or anything. He just forgot to turn it off. So now I think this is like me training him to turn off his phone screen so that he can turn it on and see that animation. But he loved it. I showed him, and here's the reaction. So I know you like old games. You know, you're an old person,
Right.
and I know that. Well, that's all I know. You're an old person and you like Dunkin' Donuts and you fix cars. So I want you to look at this. I made this for you. And listen to it. Hey, I made it in the same dimensions so that. I made it in the same dimensions for your lock screen.
Nice.
So it can play on your lock screen whenever you. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
It's like Dunkin' Donuts, and he fixes the car. He's got a hammer and your hard hat, your yellow jacket.
Right.
Isn't that awesome?
That is cool. I like that. That's
Well,
cool.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's your birthday present. Love you too.
Ah, that's cool.
I love it. I'm so excited. I'm gonna keep it on my phone too.
I'm just gonna unlock my phone all day just to see it.